Mother Earth Radio rocks inside the disc, really inside of the disc. Actually, we're on the other side of the disc right now. We're climbing new heights right now with Sammy from Blue Helix, and we spend a lot of time on the songs and all that. And let's give some honors and praise to the other guys that make Blue Helix happen. You know, we'll start off with Jebediah. Is that his name?
Actually, no. We have had a shift in members. Yeah. So the story. Okay. So Tale of Two Halves is essentially was I did the record alone, and I had a bass player named Wolf at the time who wrote the bass lines for Tale of Two Halves, and he was in there and during the process of editing some of the drums and stuff. But I kind of went through different drummers on that album, and that's why I mentioned I hired Scott Mercado. And so, honestly, Blue Helix it hasn't until recently been a full-on band effort, unfortunately, until now, where I now have a band that is a family. I have my bass player named JC, who actually played the bass on Runaways. He's a great guy. He a cancer survivor, actually, and also served for our country. And he is extremely creative, extremely talented, extremely motivated, and I'm super honored to have him in the band. I also found a great drummer named Noah Phipps, and he is young. Is a young gun. He hits the drums so hard, he even breaks sticks that they claim to be unbreakable. It's amazing. He's a great drummer. He plays this wonderful DW custom kit. And he's not on any of the recordings yet, but he will be a part of all the new songs. And that right now makes up Blue Helix. I am auditioning a guitar player right now, my best friend, Armand. We are very optimistic that he will be joining the band, hopeful. But as far as Tale of Two Halves goes, there wasn't really much of a band there, right? So, but I did, obviously, on the record, I had pictures of my current band members at the time. Unfortunately, they weren't part of the recording process. Although Jebediah he did play the drums on Bullets, the first song on the record. And, great guys, Jebediah, and Cicero was in the band for a while. He played guitar. But yeah, Blue Helix has just now kind of got the guys together that is willing and ready to tour, motivated to do so, kind of all on the same page on the writing element, the writing theme of things, And sometimes in life it takes time to find the right people, And it took me a while to even find my first original drummer, Curtis Miguel McCormick, And that was when I was 27. I moved to Washington when I was 18 years old, and it took me forever to find a band. You would think in Seattle it'd be easy to find musicians. Oh, no. It is very difficult to find guys who are passionate and driven and want the same things you do. And, and even when you think you found those people, you didn't,
Into you I commit my spirit. Deep inside dwells someone new. Do you recognize that face in the mirror? Shadows fall now from your grace. Into so where were you when I needed you? Was it not enough that I bled for you? Into you release my spirit. Lost inside my mind unglued. understand the pain I've caused you. It flows through me like woken song into you. I am letting go with my final breath. I have lost control. Now you're mine. So where were you when I needed you? Was it not enough that I bled for you?
So I made good use of my time in those years of looking for band members by building my own recording studio, so I could write and record at my own leisure. And it's been great because I've been able to use the students to help others, or my studio to help others, students and other musicians as well. So, but yes, I hope that wasn't too too elaborate.
Yeah, I hear you. There's a band out there that actually was second on Inside the Disc a year ago, and Heart of Vel, and they just found their, like you said, they're the people they can mesh with and get along with and put out some really good music.
I can't tell you how many songwriters I talk to, singers specifically, that they just bounce from drummer to bassist, drummers and bassists, and constantly. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, and it takes time sometimes, and musicians all have, some have very unique egos, let's say, and some, have families, and some have, other hobbies along with music. And I believe I am a full believer that to do this, you have to have everything invested into it, and it has to be your number one, So
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But yeah, so that's, and sometimes in life you have to experiment and try things and hope for the best, and when they don't work out, you just move forward, and that's what I've done with Blue Helix. I have continued to search for the guys, and I believe I found them this time. But they're really, really great. You can actually see JC and Noah playing live with me on Runaways. If you go on YouTube, it's one of the videos on our channel there. Just look up Runaways; it'll be the one that pops up. But you get to see their energy, the drummer, the bassist. It's great. And we have my buddy Sky playing guitar for us. He filled in, because I always love having two guitars live. It just makes it sound much fatter, much bigger. So, and every time I record anything, I always do, double guitars. I always like having lead parts to rhythm parts. I think it adds a lot of color and texture,
No doubt about that. I can't honestly say I can see that you got a group you can mesh with, but I can't honestly say I can hear it.
Nice.
In your music, man. So thank you, Sammy, for some great music there.
I'm just a man with nothing to lose. Reflection of you in everything I do. I would sacrifice my entire life. I will always fight to keep us alive. Love was a melody, it would be my song to carry me along, on and on and on. I don't have much in this life to give. You are my reason that I have to live, that I have to live. You're my reason to live.
Another question here.
Yeah.
You went to the studio to cut, The Tale of Two Halves. How was it working with the renowned, that is, Mr. Collins?
Dave Collins?
Yes, Dave Collins.
Oh, man. So Dave is, in my opinion, the most talented mastering engineer in the world. The records that he has mastered are the best records ever made. They just are, period. In my opinion, of course. I'm a 90s baby, and, I was looking for mastering engineers. I've gone through a couple guys, and I never get that, because, mastering is the key element at the end, Obviously, the mixing is the most important element, aside from having a good song and recording it well. But, because I'm producing my own stuff, where I'm having to record it and figure out what needs to go where and how the songs need to be structured, and then I send it out for mix, and then it goes to master. By the way, I got to give a shout out to my mixing engineer, David Caggiano, out of New York. He really brings the magic to the songs with his mixing skills, but he's amazing. But Dave Collins, both of them actually initials DC, kind of funny, huh? Dave Collins, I was just looking around, and I listened to this new Chevelle record called La Gargula, I believe. And I was looking, like, who mastered this? This thing just sounds big and loud and clear and crisp and wow. And I saw Dave Collins, and I'm like, okay. I looked him up. And I was like, what? He did what? He did Super Unknown. He did Weezer. He did all these bands and all these great records that I loved in the 90s. And I called him, and, most guys like him are super expensive and unaffordable. But he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it for the money, I don't think. I think he's got he's got grannies, man. This guy could be charging what some of these big, guys that the Foo Fighters charge, and he doesn't. And he makes it's affordable for guys like me. And he turns the music around within 24 hours. You don't have to wait 2 weeks to work with him. And so everything you have heard from Blue Helix has been mastered by Dave Collins. I actually had 6 of those songs already mastered by another engineer, and I paid to get them remastered by Dave Collins. And the difference is night and day. Like, Dave doesn't make it super loud, because what happens is, if you make songs super loud, they lose all their sonic quality. You'll get like that over-compressed sound where it's it's mushy, right? And a lot of what people like about like the 60s and 70s records a lot is that, it was just real clear and earthy, and it was raw, So he still keeps that element to it, where he gets it loud enough to where it sounds like a pro record these days, but he doesn't push it to where everything's just like, just kind of in your face and, unarticulated. And that's what I love about him the most is, he's able to give the song exactly what it needs. And you're very perceptive to look at that and see that Dave Collins mastered it. You're a real music person. You can tell just based on that you actually look at who engineered it. That's really, really cool.
Ask me the questions now about when I was growing up, and about any band out there. I would mow a yard, and I'd make like $6, $10 to mow a yard back in the day. And when I was a youngster, I'm up there, man. I'm up there. But and I would go down to Craig's Record Factory. That's what they call it here, and I would buy me an album. It's a shame all those albums got stolen. I had so many that right now, like the Leonard Skinner with the actual flames on it on the Street Survivor album, which after the plane crash they took the albums and they took that off, the flames. But I had that original. I had so many really cool records. But my favorite thing was to go home and I'd listen to it over and over, and I'd read all the footnotes and everything, special things to this and who was working with this, and I would go, wow, this one works with these guys over here, and I just I don't know why I did that. It was something I did, I guess, but Dave Collins, it all makes a difference in the producer and all that. It really does. Mutt Lange, he's a hot one out there. But
come, you masters of war, you that build all the guns, you that build the death claims, you that build all the bombs, you that hide behind walls, you that hide behind desks. I just don't want you to know I can see through your masks. had never done nothing but built to destroy. You play with my world like it's your little toy. You put a gun in my hand and you hide from my eyes, and then you turn and you run further when the fast bullets fly. Fasten all the triggers for the others to fire, and then you sit back and watch. Oh, when the death count gets higher, you hide in your mansion as the young people's blood flows out of their bodies and is buried in the mud. That can never be held. Fear to bring children into the world, or for threatening my baby, unborn and unnamed. You ain't want the blood that runs in your veins. And I hope that you die, and your death will come soon.